Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social Season 3, Episode 23. And what an episode we have got coming up. And we're joined by the lovely chirpy AGT, or Alex, from DR Sport and COP TV. How are we doing, Alex? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I was kind of hoping that I wouldn't have to talk about this game anymore, but then I remembered I made a promise with you before the game
that
I'd come on. So I'm a man of my word, boys. And chirpy is definitely not the word, though. I sense the sarcasm. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good because there's going to be a lot of that this episode. So, but no, we genuinely appreciate you coming on.
No worries,
and it'll be great to get a Liverpool perspective as well. And of course, we're actually going to talk about your season as well. Just what you think's going well and what you think's going badly. Yeah. And of course, I am. And Ben, always a pleasure, mate. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was good. I was actually on, if you recognise Alex's mark, I was actually on DR Sports yesterday with him. So that was good fun. It seems like every time I go on there, Brighton get a good result, especially when we play Liverpool. So that was good to rub
You're not going to get Brighton anymore.
I've never seen you when it's not been Brighton Liverpool, have I, really?
Norwich. Yeah, actually, no, it wasn't. Norwich, 0-0. That was up there. That was actually really abysmal. But it was good fun. Yeah,
it was good fun. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you. And obviously, it's a brilliant result for Brighton.
Yeah. Yeah, without further ado, chaps.
Wait, Ryan. It's his girlfriend Chloe's birthday, so happy birthday, Chloe.
Shout out, Chloe. Yeah, happy birthday, Chloe.
Big up to Chloe.
Yeah, enjoy. And Ryan will be back for the preview of our next game. So yeah, Leicester preview. But yeah, let's crack on with the game, boys. I'm sure Alex is chomping at the bit to do that. So we'll crack on. So yeah, first half. Let's talk first half. And Ben, I'll start with you. Really strong first half from the boys from Brighton anyway. And of course we had that penalty shout from Solly March, but obviously he was offside in the end.
Probably a dive.
And it wasn't a penalty as well. That should be noted too.
Yeah, okay.
If anything, it was a foul on Alisson. I think
Thank you, Ben.
He just stood in his hand.
Yeah, let's get some balance going on here.
If it's because I was near a Liverpool fan and I was brainwashed, but maybe it was.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. I think Alex was getting in your head. But okay, yeah. Let's actually, Alex, we'll start with you. We'll start with you first. What did you think? And we'll just focus on the first half. What did you think went wrong in the first half, and just in terms of both teams' setup and tactics from both managers? What do you think went right, and what do you think went wrong from a Liverpool perspective?
Well, clearly nothing went right whatsoever. And Klopp came out after and said, "I'm glad you're drinking." Came out after and said how it was the worst game he's ever managed in his career, and I would agree with it. Yeah, he said that after. He was very honest, and he said it was awful from minute one. We were actually very lucky not to go in behind at half-time. From what Ben and I saw of the game, it was just relentless, really, from Brighton. It was Liverpool defending. I didn't see us put more than 5 passes together at any stage of the game. And normally, when we lose big, i.e. the Villa 7-2, Stoke 6-1, these kind of games, we've still created chances in those games. We still scored a consolation or two. But yesterday, we didn't create any chances, and obviously we didn't score. I don't think it's right to see Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain playing through the middle ever again for Liverpool. And tactically, De Zerbi just smashed it, really. He isolated our midfield. You almost suffocated us in the kind of mid-third of the pitch, whether it was from not just the middle of the pitch, but the wings as well. You just dominated it. And I was surprised that we didn't go in at half-time behind. And you always got a chance to nick a draw or win when it goes like that. But coming out in the second half, we got exactly what we deserved. There was I have no sympathy for that Liverpool team yesterday when you consider the lack of creativity, passion, energy. We were just suffocated by Brighton, and in the end, it wasn't really a surprising scoreline.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think even in the first half, we could have scored a couple, and obviously in the second, we scored 3. So I think it could have been 5-6 without even trying to sort of big up Brighton. But Ben, do you agree with what Alex said, or do you think it was more just Brighton being really? Because I know a lot when it comes to Brighton, right? We don't. I personally don't feel like we get the credit when it is. Obviously, Alex is giving it to us, but I feel like a lot of neutrals, a lot of pundits will be like, it's more Liverpool being poor,
being bad,
exactly, and Brighton being good. Do you think that was the case yesterday? Like Liverpool being terrible and Brighton being there?
I think it was a mixture of both, but yeah, Liverpool really didn't turn up, did they? I do feel we are starting to get more plaudits, even when we're playing against a bigger team or beat a bigger team. There is a lot more.
Yeah.
That's on match today, especially. They used to just be about the other team, and then we'd say Brighton done well, and then that'd be it. But
the tide is slowly turning, isn't it?
It is slowly turning.
People are starting to come on side,
but I'd probably say Liverpool didn't really turn up, and it was quite a simple match. And funnily enough, I think, well, to be fair, we did speak about them before in the previews. They missed Nunes. There was none of that unexpected chaos that could have caused us problems. It was very, very easy. I think every time we win now, Graham Souness, former Liverpool legend, he looks like a muppet every other game.
Yeah, that's class.
I don't know if you saw his comments, AGT, at the beginning of the season. He was like, he's had like 5 clubs in six years or whatever. He knows nothing about the Premier League. It's going to be like a failure.
I think he said he doesn't know our game. I think he said
he doesn't know
game.
our game. Yeah, our game. Yeah. So he now look like a right muppet.
Textbook Souness.
Yeah, textbook talk sport, that is.
But I think it was a great first half from a Brighton perspective, of course, and then going into the second half, of course, the first goal. Now I'll start with you, ATG. Lallana to Matoma, who then crossed it in for Solly March to sweep it in. We got to talk about Matip because he wasn't great in that first goal. Let's be real. Gave the ball away and then got exposed. Essentially, got pass go by him quite easily. Is it for Liverpool, again, just sort of focusing on Liverpool, has that been a recurring theme this season? And is it just silly mistakes or is it just general play?
Matip, across maybe the last 3 years, has got an argument to be our best defender. He's been so reliable for us. He's really turned general opinion about him around when you consider that for the first, I would say, 2 or 3 years of his Liverpool career, he was spoken about as someone that Liverpool fans wanted to leave because of the injuries. It was never a criticism when he was on the pitch, because if I'm really honest with you, he's very rarely let Liverpool down. And the plaudits that he's got have been so deserved over the last 2 or 3 seasons. He's been incredible for us, and less injuries as well, which has definitely helped his case to become more of like a cult hero. But you're right, yesterday, for the first goal, he was found wanting, gave it away, and then couldn't really get back in time. But I think it would be unfair to just single out Matip on this occasion. I mean, Liverpool's defence as a whole wasn't cohesive without Van Dijk there. You kind of missing that experience.
By Matoma all the time, wasn't he?
Matoma was on fire in that first half. I think Trent had to pull him down outside the edge of the box very early on. So defensively, I'm not just going to look at Matip. Because again, very similar to Konate in the Brentford game when he gave away that third goal, I can't really tell you many bad moments that Konate's had for Liverpool either. Criticising the defence is something that is easy to do, but it was more about the defence getting exposed because of that midfield that didn't really show up yesterday. So, and then Joe Gomez had one put over his head by Welle as well. So defensively, we can look at Matip, obviously, but defensively, everyone was below par.
Thing is, though, because obviously, I'll be honest, I haven't watched every Liverpool game this season, but even when Van Dijk's been in the team, I feel like you haven't been that.
That's because of the midfield, my personal opinion.
Okay, yeah, that's fair, yeah.
We've seen Van Dijk maybe facing up a player one-on-one too many times this season. That's not his fault. That's because Fabinho and Thiago, Henderson, Elliott, Keita aren't doing their job to maybe protect them as the best they could. I think when you look at Van Dijk, just when he's on the pitch, his stature, normally wears the armband when he plays. He's very vocal as well. When you take that out, and I'm not saying that it's a makeshift pairing at all of Konate and Matip, that should still win you Premier League games. But when you take Van Dijk out of it and you're putting in maybe 2 number 2s, it doesn't necessarily always equal like a number 4, which Van Dijk is, obviously. Quick maths. So take him away. I mean, you're right. He has been a little bit exposed this season. He hasn't maybe been his best, but at the same time, you still play him. You still play him in every game. And it's just finding that partner next to him that can deal with the workload when he's not there. But I guess Konate and Matip just... I mean, there were good moments. They did have some good moments, but overall, to lose 3-0 and the goals that we conceded as well, I think especially the second one, you could look at Robertson. Again, we're almost naming every defender for Liverpool here. But Robertson could have got a lot tighter to Marsh for the goal. It was a great finish, though. Maybe Alisson can jump on that ball before Marsh gets it for the first goal. and the third goal we've just been outclassed. So defensively,
That was something
just
I wanted to talk
all
about,
across the
actually.
pitch, mate. It was just awful. Can't pick out any good points.
Solly March, right? How much is he worth? Because this is obviously going to sound mad.
How old is he?
26 maybe. 26, 27 maybe.
I
We're
think
seeing
so.
players like Mudryk, who scored like 5 goals in 4 seasons in Ukraine, go for like 85 million or 88 million today. And then Anthony from the Eredivisie scored maybe like 4 goals in a season or something like that. Go for 100 million to Man United. I'm not saying Solly March is worth 100 million, but how much is he worth right now? Do you reckon, Maz? As the Brighton fan, then we'll go to the Liverpool fan.
Yeah. Well, so I just checked. He's 28, which is obviously a big factor when you do it. But obviously English tax as well. We got to add at least 10, 15 million on top for English tax. So I don't know. I mean, look, he's not. Do you know what it is with him? When you say Solly March, no one's going to go, "Oh fuck me!" Like, wow, like, he's worth 70 million just because he's not.
Unless he was called Solberto Marchos.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, mate. Put a Brazilian little nickname on him, and he'll go for 90 million.
Paulinho.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think he's not the most attractive name in that sense. But this season, genuinely, find me a better right winger, especially English, in the Premier League this season. I don't think you probably would.
Saga?
Fair play.
Yeah. There's one.
There's one.
There's one. Yeah, fair play.
Okay. But aside from Saka,
That just ruined your whole thing.
yeah. Aside from Saka, I think he's up there. let's just spin it back. He's up there anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
He's up there.
What's the price tag?
Guys? Okay,
the price tag?
I'm trying to justify it, right, Ben? I'm trying to justify it.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know, because it's going to sound stupid. If I say something ridiculous, I reckon in today's market, right here, right now, 40 million.
Oh, relax yourself.
40 million. 15 million? No, listen.
No.
You got to take, so you take 15 away from 40 is 25. So that's
Is
his
he
actual.
25 though?
Yeah, 25 million, and then 15 million tax. Bosh, 40 mil.
But
AGT?
I mean,
Go on.
he scored 4 goals this season and 4 assists, right?
Yes,
Which is
Playing
his
out
best
his
return
skin.
so far, yeah?
correct.
Yeah.
Right. That is not 40, 50
I'm saying
million
right
for
now.
me.
I'm saying right now though.
Right
If
now,
we had to
I'd
price
say
tag him right now.
maximum 22.5, I'd say.
It's very precise. I like it.
No, because he's half of what...
Quick maths.
Yeah, I know. Is it me being harsh? Do I recognise his game as much as I
He'd
should
score
do?
more than
Okay.
4 goals in the Ukrainian league, like Mudryk, wouldn't he?
No, okay.
Okay, let's not
Yeah,
compare.
I don't think that's fair because obviously he's much younger as well. And anyway, going back to March, right? So last season he was very good as well. Again, I don't expect you to have watched him much last season in terms of as a Brighton fan. He was arguably before he got injured, he was arguably on course to be our player of the season in what was our best ever Premier League finish. And then this season he's been on flames. Obviously, he's been interrupted by the World Cup. And he's picked up the format, and his output now on De Zerbi is completely different to what it was under Potter, which he's obviously getting assists and goals, which he wasn't before. So yeah, okay, 40 million, probably no one's going to pay that. But if you consider, if you consider,
Even Chelsea won't come for him.
Yeah, mate, they're buying anyone, mate. So we got a chance. But yeah, do you know what? I'm going to stick with it. 35, 40 million. I'll stick with
Gone
that.
down a bit.
What about you, Ben? Go on, Ben. How much do you think he's worth?
If he carried on this form for the rest of the season,
No,
you said price tag right now. Yeah, price tag right now.
Right now,
Yeah, okay, so price tag right now.
Yeah.
35 mil.
Okay. I feel like we're being
I'm
we're very biased Brighton fans.
22 and a half, man.
No, I think. Do you know what? The more I deep it, I think 20 million. Yeah. 20
Look at
million.
these Brighton fans. They get hold of a player and they instantly think, "Oh, how much can we get for him?"
No,
true.
I don't. I still think he's probably not even up there. So Matoma for me is still better. McAllister, Caicedo.
Oh, for sure.
How much is Matoma worth then? Maybe that's more exciting, AGT.
Yeah, that's.
And he's actually got a
good
foreign
question.
name.
Yeah.
I think his ceiling is of maybe like a 50, 60 million kind of player.
Yeah.
From what I've seen anyway. You guys will have seen more. Maybe you think it's more. But he is a good player. I can't lie. And how old is he now?
25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
cool.
not
a
actually
little
that
bit
young.
younger.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe around 50.
He just burst into the scene.
I mean, you're valuing Caicedo at like 70.
I think I said
McAllister,
60
what's he?
yesterday on the show,
50.
didn't I? Something like that. Yeah.
McAllister, what you think? McAllister's not worth as much.
World Cup winning tax.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, World Cup.
I would say,
World Cup winning tax.
yeah, 50, 60 maybe. If you're
How old is he?
Big Mac.
Oh, he's like 24. Yeah.
Is it? 23, 24,
20.
yeah.
Tough
I would say
paper, huh?
24, 20. We should know these ages, though. It's just tough.
Yeah.
Life moves quick.
I think it's 23, 24, McAllister.
All right.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, 24.
I'll do-
There you go. Bosh.
Okay.
Do
Do you think Moises would be the most expensive player in our squad right now?
Yeah, due to age, I think, just because he's 21 and his ceiling is like ridiculous, in my opinion.
No, he dominated us yesterday.
Yeah, he's.
But we were saying that as well, though, Maz. Would he do that? Would he play like he does at Brighton if Liverpool signed him? Would he be as good? Yeah,
100%.
It's that jump.
I
know,
think...
but we probably said that with Basuma that he would be as good at Tottenham, but it just.
Yeah,
it's
true.
It's
true.
hard.
I did expect Basuma to do better at Spurs, to be fair. But I feel like with Liverpool, because as AGT's touched on, the midfield is aging. It's slow. It's it's not what it used to be 3-4 years ago when they were when arguably the Man City and Liverpool were the best two teams. Well, they were best two teams in England. They're like a shadow of their former selves in that midfield three. So I think if you put Caicedo in there with a Thiago, with a Fabinho even. So let's say Caicedo, Fabinho, Thiago. Whack Bellingham in there, mate. That is a serious midfield. I feel like the energy that Caicedo will bring, which is what Liverpool, for me personally, and I'm sure AGT, I'd love to hear what you think. But I feel like that energy is what you're lacking at the moment. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, we have spoke about it on the COP TV in the week, didn't we? I said the fact that Liverpool used to have 2 years ago the highest presses, the highest long distance runs, and the highest sprints in the Premier League. Held that for like 2-3 years at the highest level of the highest pressing order. But now we sit 14th in that table. So the stats don't lie. If you look at a player like Caicedo who runs a lot, makes a lot of tackles, sprints, presses, then it's just what we need. And if we did have him in there, I think he wouldn't be the answer to all of our issues, but he would definitely cover a good third of them. Yeah. And like you say, if you get Bellingham as well with Thiago, that is such a well-balanced midfield. But yeah, I'm looking at him. I mean,
how much did you pay for him, AGT?
30. You're asking me or Liverpool? Because I'd pay 30.
You'd pay 30 million for Caicedo?
No, start low. Negotiate. Start low, bro. This is how it works.
Crazy. Do you know?
We'll end up at 50, but I'll go and start with 30.
You know, Tony Bloom's like notoriously an absolute wheeler and dealer. Like he will not let you leave. So I think Basuma got 25 million with like 12 months left on his contract. Obviously Trossard's now got a year and a half, but he looks out the door, so he should be at least.
We actually probably need to talk about that because it was a shame when we done our last podcast is when he was just on the Eurotunnel leaving the country. So that's a tricky situation in itself.
Yeah, well, we'll finish just on the game. We'll cover the game, then we can go on to the more sort of general stuff. But yeah, the final thing, obviously, AGT touched on it. Danny Welbeck, what that guy Welbs, mate,
took the piss.
He fully. Do you know what? You know that meme when it says Wele and he's a photoshopped of him as a Brazil as Pele. That was all fully banter, right? Everyone's taking the piss with that meme, but he actually reincarnated that. He done a little samba flick over Gomez, and then on the volley past Alisson. It was just unbelievable. But the question is, and I'll start with you, Ben.
How much is he worth?
80. 100 mil. No. How obviously he's been injured, isn't it? Up until the last game before Liverpool, where he came back from injury. How important do you think the return of Danny Welbeck is going forward for us rest of the season?
It adds depth, but I guess until we see some injuries, it might not affect us. I still probably start Evan Ferguson ahead of Welbeck in the next game against Leicester, which should be a good game. That just because even for Evan Ferguson's output's going up as well. Did you get an assist? Did he get an assist yesterday as well?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he's in the build-up. Yeah,
he could have scored as well.
He could have. Yeah, he could have scored. I think most players on the pitch could have scored for Brighton. But yeah, I think I'd probably start Evan Ferguson over him. But having Danny Welbeck come back in the few minutes that he's had and already score a worldie that he did, yeah, it's a very, very good thing for the club.
And most importantly for me, it was his first goal of the season as well, which hopefully will just get his confidence right up there. And if he does start, hopefully add more goals to his game, because we always talk about output, don't we? We want the output from.
It's funny that you actually done the comparison before the game, didn't you?
Yeah, mad.
Evan Ferguson and Welbeck.
Yeah. And and AGT, I know it's not really applicable to you. Probably don't give a shit what Danny Welbeck does for the rest of the season. But what do you think of Danny Welbeck? Would you start him? Would you keep Evan Ferguson up there from what you've seen of Evan Ferguson?
I think the role that he plays is around about par for the course, considering the career he's had, the age that he's at, the fact that he does get a lot of injuries. I think to have him as an option to bring on you're very well placed there to be bringing on someone who can get you a goal, and that's what he did the other day. And the finish itself, I mean, he's rolled back the years. I actually don't think he's ever done that in his career.
Yeah, that was the funny
he's not
saying,
rolling
isn't it?
back
Saying he's
anything.
rolled back the years.
That was
He's
a-
not
Rolling
done
forward.
There was there was one goal that he scored from Man United, which was an absolute worldie, but I can't. It was that good.
One
I
goal.
can't remember it. Yeah,
that. Yeah, one goal.
it was that good.
I think he scored a
bicycle.
bicycle kick for Arsenal, but I might be wrong.
Oh, it might be
I
that
remember,
one I'm thinking of.
remember him
Yeah.
scoring a brilliant goal for Arsenal.
He's a good player, though.
Anyway, yeah,
Good.
that
Yeah.
guy Welbeck, mate.
Yeah.
But the thing is, actually, do you know what? I've got to put my hands up because AGT won't know this, but I do slander Welbeck a lot, and I have done in the past. I've called him a donkey in the past.
El Borro.
Yeah, I've
Mira,
got,
bobo.
El Boro, yeah, I'm going to start calling him that from now on if he drops a clanger. But yeah, I'll put my hands up. Like he is, I've sort of seen the light a little bit. I can appreciate what he brings to the team, whereas before I think I was a bit blinded by stats. You know, like he's not scoring goals, he's not providing assists as much as he should do probably as that sole striker. But I think I'm seeing the light now that it's not all about how many goals you score.
And also off the pitch, probably a great role model
Yeah.
for Evan Ferguson.
100%.
Who else would you want?
Having that hand over the shoulder,
Yeah.
and just being like, listen, mate, you know, tough times don't last. Tough people.
I've scored one goal away at Real Madrid. You can probably get two.
Yeah, one day.
Did he?
Yeah, header.
Yeah.
I think a header against Real Madrid.
Was it?
Not Evan Ferguson,
Yeah.
obviously.
For Bohemians, age 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
After Chelsea.
so yeah, just to sort of recap and summarise the game. Yeah, big result for us. Obviously, we're still in 7th, and I don't know, where are you guys now in the league, AG2?
9th now, yeah.
Ninth.
Great, really.
Yeah. Do you think you'll get European spot this season?
I don't know. I mean, we are still only halfway through, but we would have to go on some run now and at least win the next 5 to 10 games if we're going to take the top 4 seriously. It's almost to the stage now where it's a write-off and we go again next year. But then there's the catch-22 of wanting to go again next year with maybe no Europe instead of having to play the Thursday nights, which, oh God, I can't even believe I've just admitted that or said it out loud. It's horrible. Oh, I mean, we literally played 3 Champions League finals in the last 5 years. And now I'm bringing the word Thursday.
League.
Oh, it sounds terrible. I would hate to
Yeah,
be
we'd
in your
hate to,
position.
yeah.
Honestly, it's all relative, though, boys. It's all
sounds
relative, though, man.
awful.
No, honestly, until you
We were
get there,
saying-
you won't understand.
No,
we
we
won't.
will.
So yeah, we never will.
We were saying this on the show yesterday, Maz. Like, obviously, Liverpool are kind of known for their amazing academies and bringing up all these amazing youngsters. But we were trying to figure out, like, when was the last time, other than Ben Doak recently, when was the last time they did have a youngster other than Trent? So, do you reckon right now Brighton have a better academy than Liverpool Football Club?
When you say
I don't
academy,
know about that.
Yeah,
I think
when you say
Yeah,
academy,
Scouting.
yeah,
we still
yeah,
do have
yeah,
strong
scouting.
players coming through.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, there are very good players. That the thing is with Liverpool, right? If you're a 17, 18-year-old coming
It's hard to
through the
break into
ranks,
squad, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, look
Yeah.
at who's ahead of you. With all due respect, there's levels, right? So when you're 17, 18, and you're
Those levels yesterday though.
I know. All right, you know what I mean, though. If we're looking at Liverpool as a football club,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
etc. The players that we have on that pitch in terms of the wages. If you're a Stefan Bajcetic, for example, who is coming through the academy, who I rate very highly, he's actually Spanish Serbian, so he could. I mean, coming through the academy and then being promoted to the first team, playing with Thiago. I mean, you can't really get much better, like you said, an arm around your shoulder than that, especially if you're a Spanish midfielder yourself. So he's come through. Nico Williams has won a Premier League. Curtis Jones has won a Premier League with Liverpool. Ryan Brewster won a Champions League, barely. I'm scraping the barrel at this stage.
Is that video of him wearing it around his neck when he's getting his
barbers,
haircut? In the
Rocking,
barbers.
shred 'em. Yeah, singing that song as well. But
Class.
no, listen, maybe more could come through. But again, look at the competition, and we're not necessarily a team.
There's not competition right now, and that's where the loyalty comes from Klopp. He
Yeah,
needs
but
to
you're not
start
going to play a
dropping these.
16-year-old over.
Probably
someone
do a
like
better job right now, though.
But this is what I'm saying. Yeah, why not? Because that's the
that.
thing,
Wait,
right?
you're killing me right
No,
now.
no. It's a genuine question though.
I'm being
Because,
serious.
yeah, being serious. No, because for example, right? Let's just use us as an example. When Welbeck got injured, Evan Ferguson. I know he's 19. He's not exactly a 16-year-old, but you know, the Zeb was like, well, there's not much else around in this. Obviously, he had Dennis Undav, but he was like, I'd rather give the youth a go. And I feel like again, I'm not the manager of Liverpool FC, but if I was Jurgen Klopp at the moment, let's be real, nothing's going right.
Well, that's
at the
what we
moment.
did last night. We brought on Ben Doak. Made one of his first ever Premier League appearances. He is 16 or 17, I think. And we got him from Celtic. And we, not necessarily the academy, but when you're that young, you obviously train with the younger lads, don't you? And you're in and around the under 23s. So he's coming through, which is refreshing to see. We genuinely didn't have anything else yesterday, so we had to bring him on. But when the likes of Jota come back, Firmino, Diaz, Nunes. I mean, look at the names we're missing out on here, gents. So when they come back,
maybe there's going to be less
chances. Yeah,
it's probably more pressure for Klopp to play the better players. I think Zerbi could probably get away with playing a youngster here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's obviously so much more pressure under Klopp. Yeah,
70 million on Nunes. You're not going to play an academy.
No, of course. Yeah, no, I completely get that side of things. But then, just going on to my earlier point, it's like if you're going for a really tough patch, which you guys are, and nothing seems to be working in terms of the starting 11, and like I don't know, it's just me personally.
It's like Man United with Garnacho, I guess.
Exactly. It's like, look, nothing else is working, so might as well just chuck the young lad in.
Stefan Bajcetic, he's an example of that. Came on the other night and scored against Aston Villa. So there is that look to the bench to see, right, who's the next up, who can we bring through? And Klopp, to be fair to him, has always used youngsters and a lot of younger players. I remember in the FA Cup last year, we played Cardiff at home, and Frauendorf was playing, Connor Bradley, Tyler Morton, who's now just signed a long-term deal with Liverpool, who's come through the academy. He's a very interesting prospect. So Klopp definitely believes in them. It's just we need wins now. And to get wins now, maybe you can't rely on the young lads all the time because of that lack of experience. But I totally get your point, and I think Klopp has actually used a lot of young players in his time, especially last season.
Yeah. And HT, another question for you. I'm not trying to agree. I am genuinely interested to hear from a Liverpool perspective. You talked about the season being a write-off essentially, and we've touched on the midfield. Aside from the midfield issue, what do you think needs to be done to fix the current form problem or whatever it might be, even going into next season? What do you think needs to be changed, if anything?
Just buy some midfielders. Since we won the Champions League, we've signed 2 midfielders. And that is Thiago and Artemelo.
Who's injured, right?
Yeah, who's played 30 minutes for Liverpool.
On the missing list.
Yeah, so buy some midfielders and then we might see some improvements. Buy Caicedo, get him in.
Don't do it.
Buy Jude Bellingham. I mean, it's going to cost a good 150 to 200 mil to fix the midfield problem. And because the owners are obviously looking to sell / look for investment, maybe that isn't their priority right now to give Liverpool another 200 mil after we've just spent around 40 on Gakpo. That was such a good deal, but again, we haven't seen enough from him so far. But the main thing for me, invest. I think going forward, we'll work out, it'll be fine. Got so many big names going forward, but do you know what? Actually, the game yesterday made me think, actually, maybe we do need another defender now. Just in terms of having someone that can step in when Van Dijk isn't there. I think maybe in the summer we go for a big defender, but still in January, I mean, it's the 15th now, 15, 16 days to go. If we don't see a midfielder come through the door, I'll be massively frustrated to see that we've let another opportunity go and we haven't reacted or been proactive, I should say, to the situation. I can't imagine a world where we invest 40 in another attacker, but then don't invest at least 40 to 50 or 60, 70 in a midfielder.
It's the wrong sign.
I don't see the logic behind that.
Yeah. It reminds me of what Chelsea are doing at the moment. Like, they signed Mudryk. It feels like they don't need another attacker. And it's like, you need a centre midfielder or, arguably, centre-backs. Yeah.
Chelsea have spent now 500 million since August. We've spent that in the last 10 transfer windows.
That's crazy.
So there you go. I mean, genuinely, Klopp has done miracles with what he's had available to him. And it seems like almost every week in his press conferences, he's seeming to bat away questions about how much money is available, who we're going for. But there must be someone on the radar. But at the same time, the whole midfield needs surgery. It's not just one or two players. It's good 2 or 3 we need to bring in.
Are you worried about Klopp leaving?
No, I don't think our situation right now would get better if Klopp left. And also to people that are saying Klopp out, one, you know what these internet fans are like. I wouldn't necessarily believe all the hashtags you see. You'd have to go in and see who they're coming from, because some people just jump on the bandwagon for the sake of it. But one, I don't see who would even come in and make us better.
De Zerbi?
Not yet. Maybe he'll go to Chelsea in a couple of years.
No.
But Klopp's a man of his word. He'll stay until the end of his contract, and Liverpool won't sack him. There's no way that happens. The full backing is with the manager from the top down. And if you're looking at Klopp as part of the problem, you'd be right in terms of, you know, he always needs to take 15, 20, 25% of the blame. But it's not him. Trust me, the grass is not always greener. And again, there's no one else better in the world, I would think, right now, who's better placed with the experience that can sit down and go, right, let's go again, than Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
So I'm with him all the way.
That's a good segue, mentioning that the grass isn't always greener, because I think we should talk about Trossard.
Yeah.
The fact that he's left the country, he's thrown his toys out the pram because he refused to sign a new contract before the World Cup, and now he wants to look for somewhere else.
And then his agent released a statement as well, didn't he? His agent released a statement which didn't help things whatsoever.
No, saying that we've acted really poorly. And
yeah.
The reason why he left training early is because he had an injury or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know who you believe there. You've got to back the manager, I suppose. But if Trossard does want to come back, because I think there's been a few hints that he might get a chance to come back, I don't know if I'll take him back.
Really?
No. It's
it?
tainted now.
Yeah.
It's tainted now, isn't it?
So get him out in January, yeah?
Yeah, get him out, mate. Good riddance, mate. We don't need him. We've got Matoma anyway. Now, on a serious note, I feel like even if he wanted to come back, like imagine, because apparently, and that was the other rumour, wasn't it? They had a fight with someone, didn't he? Apparently he had a scrap with...
In training.
Yeah, in training,
yeah.
Yeah, and I think some people were saying it was Lewis Dunk. Anyway, all these, you know, what it's like on the internet, everyone was making up who... Like, so I think someone said that Trossard unfollowed Dunk on Insta.
Yeah,
so it must have been him. I was like, that is so, like, playground shit. But, let's just pretend, for argument's sake, it was Lewis Dunk, he had an argument. So, like, imagine going back, the club captain, you just had a big Barney, and you've left the country, you've fallen out with the manager, your agents publicly come out and said whatever. Yeah. Like, how...
Took a screenshot of his iPhone notes and just
do you know what I mean? Like, it's just all a bit of a mess. I feel like, and it's a mess. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a mess too far, I think. And again, and in all seriousness, I genuinely, hand on heart, would not be that gutted if he left, because I feel like Matoma's doing a very good job at the moment. I know he's not like we need depth and we need people to come off the bench, etc. But I feel like in that area, it's not like we're light, and it's not it's not like we can go out and buy players. We've got loads of players out on loan. You know, Dingro, we've got Bonatoni who's just come in. We've got Caicedo on the bench. Like, we have got depth in that area, and Trossard. He was very much, I don't know if you agree, but he was very much a man of confidence, and his consistency was very up and down. One game, he scored a hat-trick against Liverpool. Next game, he'd draw up a 1 out of 10 and just would go missing. It's like he was never consistent throughout his career. So I'm actually not
too player, though. If someone can pick him up and get his head right.
100%.
But again, the whole... throwing your toys out, I don't like that. As soon as you show any signs of that, get out.
We never saw this. This came up from left field. Like, there was no hints that he was a player that would act like this. But it's come out of nowhere, where he's all of a sudden.
I don't agree. He did strike me as a player who could drop a hissy fit. Like, you've seen his emotions on the pitch sometimes when things weren't going our way. He'd like drop his head. He'd start having a go at people. But AGT, that's a really good point actually, because. We're not just talking about can he come back from Brighton? Imagine prospective buyers, if they see that, they're like, why would we want to bring a player with an attitude problem? Why would we want to? Is he going to do that with us? Like, if we don't play him?
And that's where he should have maybe thought about his actions a bit more, because it's all very well wanting to go to a new club. There's so many players that want
100%.
that. But get your head down and earn it. Do you know what I mean? And exactly. leave on good terms. Look at someone like Sadio Mane for us, right? Obviously, we didn't want him to leave, but he wanted to move to Bayern Munich. So as soon as you know that, it's kind of, there's the door, thanks for all your service. But that man, in his last game for us, hit the post in the Champions League final. He was desperate to end his time at Liverpool on a high. And he did the right thing, left, with class. But I think once you start getting forced to train with the reserves, and there's rumours about, is he injured? Is he just throwing it in? Throwing the towel in, then the attitude questions start, and then once they start, yeah, you're right. The prospective buyers are going, well, we don't want a bad apple, and they might be in January in a season defining moment, and then they bring him in, and then something happens. So for his own sake, he's kind of effed it up for himself, really.
100%.
There was a bid from overseas, wasn't there? For people that don't know, that listening, it's a bid from overseas that I think we rejected. No idea what club it is. I can't even guess what country it's come from. But
I reckon it'll be like an Italy or something. He strikes me as, like, I think his pace suits the like an Italian
like
team.
that.
Yeah, but like just to sort of round it off, I suppose from my perspective, class player on his day. There's no doubt he's a very, very good player. It's just when his head's in the game and when he can be arsed, essentially. So do you know what? Good luck if he does leave. If he does come back, great. He can be a squad player. He can come
he can be the water boy.
He can be the water boy. Yeah. I don't see a way back for him, unfortunately. And I think he will be on his way out in this.
Cash in on him and throw the money at Levi Colwill.
Yes. Oh my God. We can't finish the pod without speaking about Levi Cole. I know AGT probably thinks, fuck this, get me out of here. But
could be a centre back for you.
Yeah, mate.
We didn't have anything to defend though, boys. We had no work to do yesterday.
Okay, but can you not?
Performance.
Other games as well.
I know. You can tell he's going to be good.
Yeah, Rolls Royce.
He had nothing to do yesterday. Nothing.
No, it's true. He didn't have much to do. But when he did, he done it very well. I think that was the key thing. And do you know what it's going to be? It's going to be one of those lone heartbreaks where he's going to be class for us, and then come the end of the season, like Chelsea, like cheers lads.
Because he was at the Chelsea game today, when he in front of
we'll just take him back. Thanks for that. Thanks for developing him.
He was at Stamford Bridge Day, but that was heartbreaking to see.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in front of Mudryk in the same box as him.
Classic.
I know, that was heartbreaking. Everyone was like, don't panic, it's normal. But no, it's not.
It's not.
It's not, mate.
That's like going around to your exes for a Sunday roast.
Yeah, he's discussing the Reaper option with Graham Potter. That's what he's doing.
It could have been a really good roast, to be fair.
I had a roast today, actually.
Did you?
Beef.
Oh, lovely. I had a beef udon. That was very nice.
Udon.
Right. Udon noodles.
Udon noodle.
Oh, right.
Yeah, very nice. Beef udon.
Ramen.
Right, lads. Absolute pleasure and a great podcast. Thank you very much, AGT, for joining us. I know it was probably not the most enjoyable 37 minutes of your life, but we appreciate you nonetheless.
I've had worse.
You don't have to talk about this game ever again until probably tomorrow, when you're doing some other show.
Next time we play you, just stay well away from me. It'll probably be in like August or September or something like that. Just we've got to stop meeting
AGT,
like this.
before we let you leave, we always ask for a comment down below. So basically, you give a phrase or a statement or whatever it might be, and then they'll leave it in the comments below. So what would you like it to be this week?
There will be two. Whilst he's thinking, there will be two comments, because we should probably throw some comments from Mwepu, who's apparently had another heart attack. Yeah, that which is crazy. Apparently, whilst he was driving, I don't know if the reports are true, but if they are true, throw some love for Mwepu in the comments.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also
we send everyone from Seagulls Social and of course DR Sports. We send all our best wishes for the Mwepu family and of course Mwepu himself as well. So hopefully,
my comment would probably be Adam Lallana. You're welcome.
Okay.
To be fair, he was decent yesterday.
Yeah, he was good.
Best midfielder on the pitch yesterday.
Yeah, no, he was very good. There's so many players that we could have mentioned this pod, but no, fair play. All right,
very good.
Lallana, you're welcome. That is comment down below, and of course, show some love for Mwepu as well in the comments. And of course, as per usual, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. Anything we can do to try and get a bigger fan base is much appreciated. And of course, if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, hit the 5-star. And leave a review if you want to, of course.
And AGT's links will be below as well.
Big up, lads.
Big up Cock TV, big up DR Sports, and big up AGT. And thank you so much. Peace out.
Peace, fella.
Love.
Peace.